Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the KGC show. And today I am joined by a Facebook great singer. And she's more than just a Facebook singer. She has a Facebook live show that she does every Monday. We'll talk about that, but she's here to promote her brand new single called Nothing Gets Done, releases the day this airs. So today, but the day we are recording this is this Friday. So make sure that you guys jump out and get this great song. And if you were on her live show yesterday, uh, August the 25th, you could hear her preview that song and many more on the fantastic show she does. So I'm going to quit talking and introducing my great guest for this week. Please give it up for Washington's own Mel Dalton. How you doing, Mel?
I am fantastic, Caden. Thank you so much for having me on this show. I'm really excited.
Well, I'm honored to have you. Where are you calling us from today?
Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
Ooh, real close to me, like neighbors.
Right? Practically can see my house from here.
So before we get into your new single and your Facebook live show, I want to talk to you a little bit about your great career that you've had in music. And can you talk to us a little bit about how you got started?
I'm gonna try to, yes, absolutely. I'm trying to like make this a less of an answer because I am the sort of person who can give you a chapter and verse on things. How I got to where I am right now is that I've always been a singer. I've always sung like my whole life. Mom popped me out. I started singing. It's been like that. And we had a lot of music around the household when I was growing up. So mom did barbershop and she was in the Sweet Adelines, which is a barbershop choir. And absolutely amazing. So I grew up listening to that. Dad liked, rock music, and I had, music playing. I was in choir with school and at the church. And when I was like fifth grade, I think I tried out for a solo part. And that was the first time that anybody was like, oh, wow, you have a great voice. And I was like, wait, do I? Okay, that's awesome. Well, it was like the first thing that anybody ever really gave me any attention for. So that just became my thing, was singing, was music. And when I was in junior high, the like Disney animated films were huge. So Little Mermaid and The Lion King and uh, Beauty and the Beast and all these were coming out. And I was not really happy with myself. And I didn't think that I looked very good. And I didn't think that I could, get on stage and command attention. So I wanted to voice a Disney character. Like that was my ambition for several years. I didn't want to be seen, but I thought that, hey, I could be heard. That'd be cool. In high school, I started listening to country music. And to, shrink a whole bunch of story that happened in there, I ended up wanting to get into country music. And so the plan was then to go to Nashville, which after a while I realized I didn't really want to be in the rat race. And again, with the lack of self-confidence, I didn't think that if I went down there and was surrounded by that many people that I would be a big enough fish to get any attention. So I didn't, I said, okay, I don't want to go to Nashville. Got married, blah, 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 went home to Western Washington, where I lived at the time, started doing karaoke. and got started trying to put a band together. Didn't happen. Ended up in a duo with one other guy. So it was me and Tuck, and we were playing really often. Started playing guitar on stage a little bit. Actually had to borrow a guitar from him because the guitar that I had didn't have a pickup in it. So I started borrowing a guitar from him and playing with Tuck. And one day, Tuck and his wife went to Arizona on vacation, and they came home, and his wife was like, "Hey, we're going to move to Arizona." And Tuck's like, we're not moving to Arizona. Don't worry. So then they moved to Arizona. And that was a problem for me because I was paying my rent with music. So at that point, I joined in with a band, and we were a 4-piece, later a 5-piece. And then by the end of the 10 years that I played with Northwest Chill, it was 6 of us because we had a sound guy that we were paying. And because everybody had careers and mortgages and families, it was a little harder to book. So instead of playing 2, 3, 4 days a week, we were playing 2, 3, 4 days a month. And I was also only getting 20% of it instead of half the money. So I was not able to pay my rent with my music anymore. And I became an electrician. Plot twist, right? So I commuted for years to Seattle, and long commute, long days, played with the band at night, met my now my husband. We dated, we did a long distance thing for a while. That will come back up later when we talk about the song that's coming up. And it was exhausting. I loved the job, but it really wore me out. And one day Jeff says to me, if you moved out here and we got married, we would save enough money between you not having to commute, me not having to visit you, renting out your house, and all of these things. You could quit your job and you could make music for a living. And it was like, oh, don't throw me in that bush, that what was it from Brer Rabbit, the thorn bush. So yeah, I moved to Idaho and I got to become a full-time musician, and so that's what I'm doing now. So short version is I've always been a singer. Long version is longer than that, but basically, yeah, here I am now, and I get to sing and play, and this is my job. And I am currently still playing the guitar that I got from Tuck, because when he moved to Arizona, he sold me that guitar for super cheap. And yeah, this is what I do now.
You guys now see why I asked her to come be a part of this show because she is so much energy and she brings so much to this show. Thank you for that.
I have a lot of energy. A lot of energy.
I can feel it sitting through here. Oh man,
Right through the screen, man.
this is going to be a dangerous podcast. Enjoy, ladies and gentlemen. Um, can you talk
I've
to
watched
us a
some of
little?
your other ones, and a lot of them are like 20 minutes. And I was like, I don't think we're gonna keep it to 20 minutes.
Oh
Not with me
man,
talking.
the longer the better, you know. That's what I love is just having the guest just tell their story and just give as much detail as you feel comfortable.
That will not be a problem. That will not
Yeah.
be a problem.
Can you talk to us a little bit about some of your inspirations for your music?
That's a long list. I have been, like I said, I've been singing since I was a kid, and I've been inspired by everything. I mean, I listened to top 40 radio growing up, so just everything on there. I mean, I got hit real hard with, like, God, Whitney Houston and Lita Ford. My dad had a bunch of records, and I would listen to Men at Work. Mom, like I said, did barbershop, so that was huge. I grew up going to church, and so I've been inspired by, hymns. And when I was this whole praise worship team thing started when I was in, I think, junior high school. So I grew up reading the hymnal, four-part harmonies right there. So, harmony has always been huge to me. Just really, when we moved to Washington, my dad listened to the oldie stations for a while. So there's a whole lot of doo-wop and all of that went into it. And it's just my entire brain is an amalgam of everything that's happened in music for the last 100 years.
And we'll talk a little bit about more of the evolution of the music industry later in the show because I do want people to understand that we'll just get into it now. Being an independent artist, uh, whether you are here in Washington or probably down in Tennessee too, or anywhere for that matter, it's hard because you ain't got 50 PR people to go through. I mean, you're not protected as much as those major named artists are. I mean,
Oh yeah.
you
Yeah.
have you have yourself a team, but it's of 15, 20 people. Uh
If you're lucky. If you're
yeah,
lucky.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what for you are some of those difficulties as trying to, come up with different logos or like trying to come up with different merchandise ideas? How hard is that creative process for you?
Okay, so the first thing that I have trouble with the creative process as an indie artist is that you have to wear all of these freaking hats. Like I actually sat down and made a list of all the roles and then all of the tasks within each role. And it's the creating of the music and the recording of the music and the videos, and then it's also the things that go a little, you step a little beyond that, where you're talking about the merchandise, coming up with merchandise ideas. Where does your logo come from? Where does, do you have a saying? Where does that come from? How do you want to put yourself out there? How do you interact with people? What gigs do you take? What gigs do you look for? Do you do a live stream? Do you do all of these decisions that you have to make as an artist? And then how much of yourself as an artist do you want to put out there? How much of yourself as a human being do you want to put out there as an artist? Because I'm the sort of person who, like, life is way too short for me. There's too much out there. There's too much to do. There's too much to learn. There's too much to see. There's too much to experience. So I have a dozen different hobbies at any given time. And how much of that can you put into yourself, into your public persona before people get overwhelmed? Like I'm overwhelmed and I live this. Some poor schmuck comes along and hears a song that I made and they like it and they go on my Instagram, they're going to lose their mind if I put all of myself out there. So, how do I decide what of me do I want to? That's a huge thing right there. And that's without getting into any of the financial uh, things that you have to do, the record keeping you have to do, the I just started an LLC this year so that my Mel Dalton is separate from me as an individual. So now I have a business account and all of that. So then there's taxes you have to do and records you have to keep. Once you put music out, you have to go through publishing and uh, there's you can hear it as I'm
Yeah.
talking about it. There's so much, and it's overwhelming. And then to have to do it all by yourself as an indie artist, it's crazy making, man. It's crazy making.
Yeah. How do you like I know every day for you is business 24/7. I mean, you constantly do business. But
Hmm.
how much of that are you able to put yourself into? Because you said that it's a lot mentally. So how much are you able to, you know, release?
Yeah, that's an excellent question, and it depends on a couple of things. My first career was in retail, and I got this amazing, really great piece of advice from a manager who was actually a real jerk, but he had some good things to say. And one of the things that he told me was that you you will always have more things going on than you can handle at any given time. It's like spinning plates. You've seen, where, they have the stick and they have a plate on the top, like, and they're doing tricks and they're spinning the plates and they have all of these plates around here. And you have to keep an eye on all the plates because you can't spin every plate at the same time. So you got to pick which plate you're going to spin. And you got to run around and you got to watch which plate is about to fall down and go spin that plate. And then go to another plate and then go to another plate. And I'm not the best at prioritizing which plate is going. So I do have a tendency to let certain plates fall down, which is another thing you have to know. Which plates are plastic? And if they fall, you can pick them up and get them spinning again. And which plates are china? And as soon as they drop, they're done. And which plates are Corelle that you can drop a couple times, but not too often.
Yeah. And I'm assuming that those plays that you're talking about are life lessons, like the
They're
life.
tasks. I'm talking
Yeah.
about the different tasks that you have to do. Yeah. So if I forget to if I go home from a gig and I forget to input what I made that night in tips, that's like a plastic plate. If I forget to do that, I can estimate it because the IRS is not coming after me on how, did I make $24 or $28? Did I make $52 or $56? No one cares. I can estimate that. That's a plastic plate.
Yeah.
But, filing my taxes, that's a China plate. Well, I mean, kind of. It's kind of a Corel plate because, you might have to pay the stupid tax in the form of a fee for filing late. And then, but you got to get to know all those things. Being late to a gig is more of a China plate than, you know, than
Not
other
the money
things.
part. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, and one of the big shows that you do every Monday is on Facebook, and that's where I first met you. And if you guys have not gone and see that show on Mondays, well, most Mondays, uh, over on
Yeah.
Facebook, uh, it is one of the greatest shows to watch because it's jam packed with stories and music and some great covers and some great originals. And I want you to talk to us a little bit about how that got started and what keeps you motivated doing that.
Thank you. That was a glowing recommendation. I appreciate that so much. And I love that that's how we got in contact, is that you found me on that, because I've I've been doing the Monday show for 5 years. And it is, got the original title of Monday Music just because, like, it's not very original, but it is what it is. That's sometimes all you need.
Yes.
Um, During the pandemic, of course, we had a lot fewer, in a lot of places, no live gigs at all, and a lot of musicians started playing live. There was several musicians that I follow started doing a live show. One of them was doing it from a bar, and they just went in and it was just the band doing it, and then they would film it there, and they would do it on a weeknight. I want to say it was a Thursday, might have been a Wednesday. One of it was a gal was doing it on her from her living room on Saturday mornings. And I looked at what was going on, and I said, well, there's all these people that are used to getting up on Monday morning and going to work, and now they're not. But their circadian rhythm is probably still getting them up on Monday morning, and maybe they don't feel like anything else is going on. And Monday's kind of a crappy day to start out with. I mean, we all kind of get frustrated that we have to go back to work. So maybe let's give people something fun on a Monday morning. Let's make some music and hang out together and do Monday music, right? And it turns out me with here over here with the spinning plates, rehearsal, practicing of my music and playing my guitar has not been, I've been treating it like a plastic plate for a long time and not really putting a lot of energy into it. So having to do that every Monday really was an enormous help to me to get my chops up, especially with the guitar. I listen to the old ones and man, I'm glad those old ones are not on YouTube because wow, anything you do, you're going to be bad at before you're good at. But that was just embarrassing, man. It was rough.
Well, I encourage people every Monday. What time do you normally go live?
10 a.m. Pacific.
Okay. So on when this show airs on Friday, on Monday at that time, she will be live. So you have no excuse to miss her because she goes live at the same time our podcast drops.
There
And
you
maybe
go.
on Friday we might do something special for not only her song but for this podcast as well. And like I mentioned, you debuted your latest single on your Monday morning show called "Nothing Gets Done," and that drops on this air date, which is August the 29th. Um, hey, I got it. I got it. That's
Yes.
easy edit for me. Um, can you talk to us a little bit about this wonderful song? And please, I actually encourage you guys to go download the song. But talk to us about it, and we'll kind of go into some of the inspirations for it when you get done.
Yeah, yeah. So this it's a love song. And it's a song that I wrote when my husband and I were still dating, and we did the long distance thing for 5.5 years, which is wow, it was a long time. But I loved where I was living, and I had a lot of great things going on. And um, fortunately for us, not long after we met, or maybe it was just before we met, Alaskan Airlines started a brand new nonstop route from Vegas, where he was living, to Seattle, which is where I was working. And he was able to afford to come back and forth fairly often. But even at that, it wasn't enough, like it wasn't as much as we wanted to see each other. So when the way that I intro this song when I play it live, because I try to be, maybe a little delicate about things. I mean, I'm a dirty construction worker and I got a mouth to match, but uh, yeah, I try to be cognizant of other people in the room. So I basically just say we didn't get to see each other very often, and when we did, we had our priorities for how we spent our time. So the song is about how nothing else gets done except each other. Basically, is the joke. And I wrote the song years ago, and I didn't play it out because I've always I it's an upbeat, happy, really fun, excited sort of a song. It's a song about eagerness. I mean, really. So I've always wanted to play it faster, but it's got a lot of words in it. So I didn't really start playing it until this spring, and people really got into it. I guess it was this winter, but at any rate, I got a really great response. So when I went into the studio this last time, I went ahead and recorded it. And I've been playing it a little bit slower. And it turns out it's a really great two-stepping song at this slower pace. It feels a lot slower than I want it to be, kind of, but it works. So I'm excited to see how it goes and where it ends up.
So now that you said that, I'm going to ask kind of a two-parter question. Is this going to be followed up with any big project? Do you have any plans to release this, or is this kind of like you throwing it out there and seeing what it does?
So I have I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I'm a big proponent of YouTube University, right? Learn everything you can. And I every time I have a good idea, it's probably stolen from somebody else. So if you compliment me on a good idea, I'll say thanks, I stole it. Because you don't have to be smart if you can find other people's great ideas, right? Well, so there's several actually people on YouTube that I follow. One of them, his name is Jesse Cannon, and he has a 60-day release strategy for putting out singles. And I modified it. I turned it into like a 45-day strategy, but I've been doing a single every other month. So it's the last Friday of every month this year. So February, I released Nothing Gets Done Around Here. No, sorry. It's another nothing song. Never Gonna Hear From Me. That was it. Never Gonna Hear From Me came out in February. Solitaire came out in April. Can't Hold You came out in June. This is coming out in August. I've got another one coming out in October, actually on Halloween, and I'm going to have some real fun with that. I'm not going to tell you guys, I'll tell you off screen, but I'm not going to tell the public because everyone's just going to have to tune in for that. It's going to be amazing. So yeah, there's a basically a 40-day, 45-day release strategy that's going to involve a couple of music videos, a lyric video that I'm going to put out there for the public because lyrics are really important to me, and I want everyone to know. I don't want anyone to say what was that again? I didn't catch that. I don't want to be that person. I'm not the international man of mystery over here. It's not my vibe. If I have a Patreon, and the Patreon subscribers will also get the karaoke version of this, so they'll get like a private link to that. And yeah, it's I don't want to say like it's big, but I am trying to follow up with not just throwing it out there into the ether. I would like to maybe present it in a way that people will see it and like it, and maybe even share it with their
Right.
friends.
Right. And I encourage you, please, please share and love the hell out of Mel's music because it's music for the people. And I listen to it, and on my hard days where I can't hardly get my rear end up out of bed, I pull through her music. And a mutual friend that we have to
Oh
give credit
man.
to, love you, buddy. A mutual friend we have to give credit to is Rusty Jackson. Greatest
Yes.
catalog in music history. I love Rusty.
Oh, I love Rusty. We call Rusty the godfather of country music in the Inland Northwest. And you know what he's doing? He's just, and I watched his episode when he came on your show, and I know you know this, but if y'all haven't, viewers haven't gone and watched Rusty's episode, I will tell you this: he just, from when he was real young, he wanted to be a country singer. So he's literally out there in retirement living his dream. And I cannot think of a better like role model than somebody who gets out there and does what they love and ropes everybody else that they can find into it. Because Rusty has the biggest heart for building community and bringing new people in. He started the Inland Northwest, now the Northwest Country Music Association, which now is huge. I mean, we do a big awards show every year, and he does shows throughout the year. He is with me. He and I are both the what do you call them, coordinators of our local chapter of the National Songwriters Association. So we're building community with that. I mean, you can't get realer, and you can't get more welcoming than Rusty.
Yeah,
He's a great guy.
I
Love him dearly.
I do too, and I'm thank God every day for a great guy and a great influence that Rusty is into the Pacific Northwest and in Spokane and all the loving regions around us. He does a lot. And
He does. Yep.
can you talk to us about what you have coming up next for you?
I have in the immediate future, like next week, I have a couple of gigs I'm playing on. Friday, I'm doing actually with Rusty and with Pamela Jean and Austin Davis. We're doing a songwriter event in Spokane Valley at the Social. Saturday, I'm playing at Pig Out. I don't have a whole lot going on in September, but October, we're doing this real big country ladies show. And it's going to be at the Spokane Tribe Casino. They do country music every Thursday night there. It's their country night. And they always have line dancing. They have line dancing lessons. Well, we're going to do a big show, and it's got half a dozen gals. We're all going to be doing songs from the 60s up to current music. It'll be fantastic. I don't think, well, there won't be tickets because it's a public event. So it'll be free. You can just show up. It's going to be October 9th, I believe, is the Thursday. So that's like the big thing that's coming up. The
Well,
big show that's coming up next.
I'll see you at Pig Out. I'm going down there.
Yes. Excellent. Excellent. I'm playing Saturday night and I got an evening slot, which is going to be great, I think. I've always gotten like afternoon slots, but they gave me an evening slot this year, so that's going to be cool. It won't be as hot. I'm excited about that. So I'm playing the Sculpture Garden stage on Saturday from like 8-ish. I should know this. It's not very far from now. It's a couple days away.
Well,
I have to be there super early to get parking and to get there in time and to do setup. So, but if just everybody be there for you guys, it's tomorrow. So just be there by 8
wow. Yeah.
minimum.
And
Yeah.
there's a good chance you could get a picture with both of us. Who knows?
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
and I have to ask this. What we talked a little bit about your merch. Do you have merch that you sell at the shows?
Absolutely. Yes. I have green Mel Dalton t-shirts that just have my logo on it, which the same logo is on my hat, blue hats, green t-shirts. I also have t-shirts that are what do they call it? Raglan shirts. So they're gray with a blue shoulder on them. And they have the line, "You can't cry in a Cadillac," because I have a song called Cadillac, and that's the hook from the song, "You Can't Cry in a Cadillac." And I have, let's see what else. I have two different CDs. They're both EPs, so they're $5 each. One of them has a boat on it, and that was with my old band, Northwest Chill. I currently own, I have in my possession almost all the copies of that because as the guys have dropped out of the band, they're not selling them. And they're like, "Hey, did you want my copies?" And I'm like, "Yes. Yes." We printed 1,000 and they got divvied up to everybody. And I have most of the ones that have not been sold yet. And another band member has just offered me his. So, yeah. Anyway, then I have the EP that I put out solo that's got a hat on it. So I've got the CD with the hat and the CD with the boat. I have one fanny pack left for sale. I didn't order very many because I didn't know how well they would sell. I have one left. I have picks that I'm giving away. I'm going to be getting stickers soon. You would think I would have stickers already. I don't have stickers yet. I need to get on that. So I will have stickers soon to give away. I have I have t-shirts for the Midnight Juliettes also, which is the trio that I'm in, all gals trio, Chrissy Summering and Erica Janelle, which Rusty's responsible for, just to loop back into it. Every once in a while he'll sing the song "All My Exes Live in Texas," and he'll sing it "All My Exes Are in the Juliettes." Because he used to play with all three of us at different times. Still does play with Chrissy a lot. But yeah. So I have shirts and hats and other things. Download cards also. All of my music is on Bandcamp. All of my recent music. I don't think my back catalog is on Bandcamp. But all the stuff that I've put out myself. So that's on there, including, well, it doesn't matter because by the time everybody sees this, it'll be out anyway. Yeah. So yeah. So I have download cards so you can download if you actually want to own the music yourself. I've got you covered.
There you go. And before we get into our last segment of the Q&A, I do want people to know where they can keep up with you. I know they can catch up with you on Facebook, but give us your socials.
Yes. So it's real easy. They're all Mel Dalton music.
There you go.
I'm on the website is great. So meldaltonmusic.com. I am most active, I think, on Instagram. So I'm there. But I also put stuff on, I have a lot more content on YouTube. The live stream goes out on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. I'm barely on Twitch. So if you're already on Twitch, find me there. But if you're not, don't go seeking me because, you know, uh, but I do throw stuff onto TikTok. If you were looking to see what I have going on just in my life, I would say probably Instagram. But every social is Mel Dalton music.
Yeah. And what a great interview this was. I've been in dire need of a great podcast, and that's what this has been. Will you come back on and give us more information when everything's done?
Please, I would love to come back on. Absolutely.
Well, you're welcome anytime, and I will see you Saturday at Pig Out in the Park. I'm so excited now.
Yes. Fantastic.
Please, I encourage everybody before we get to our last segment, I just want to say, please, please stream her music everywhere. Mel Dalton on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, the whole shebang, YouTube. Check out her Monday music show on Facebook, but also please download the new song, Nothing Gets Done, streaming everywhere on this release date, which is August the 29th. There you go. And this is thank you, Mel, for such a great show, and I'm honored to have you a part of the KGC show family.
Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed this, and I'm looking forward to hanging out with you in person on Saturday.
I look forward to it too. Before you go, can we get a quick rapid fire Q&A?
I'll do my best.
We talked about how you like lists, so we're going to get you to name off some of your lists. What's your dream collaboration?
Ooh, Weird Al, Brandy Carlisle, Bonnie Raitt.
What is your favorite song to perform?
Don't have one. I don't really do favorites of anything. I love, I get the best reaction from Bobby McGee, Poor Johnny, When Will I Be Loved, White Liar sometimes, and Angel from Montgomery.
What advice would you give to indie artists?
Fail fast, which is something I need to do. I have a tendency to stick with something longer than I should just because I really want to make it work. And but in the industry we have right now, nobody has time to stick with something that isn't working. So you gotta you gotta find your goals and then you gotta go for them right away. And whatever isn't working, just cut it.
Great advice. Great advice. Take it, people. Take it.
I should follow it
Yeah,
myself.
me too. Uh, what's the biggest lesson you have learned from working in the music scene here in the Pacific Northwest?
This is the first place that I got a really big music community. I would absolutely say find your people, man. Find the people that build you up, find the people that will work with you, that you enjoy working with, and that are positive and supportive and that you can be with as you do this thing. Because wow, this is too freaking difficult to do it on your own.
But it's a lot more easier with supporters like you. And that's why we do. all that we do is because of great folks like you. And I know I said that this was the last question, but I do have to ask you. You did recently get to go see Weird Al. What was that like for you?
Yes. Oh, it was so good. It was so good. Excuse me. No, I've loved Weird Al for a long time. I don't want to get into a whole lot of the details of it just because we're right at the end of this, but it was a really rough spot in college, and a friend of mine loaned uh, uh loaned me the DVD of Weird Al's concert video from the Running with Scissors tour. And watching him on that stage, just on the TV, just seeing him up there with this joy, you know, in his with his hair flying and carrying his friggin' accordion and spinning around on stage and just nothing but energy reminded me that that's what I used to have, that that's what music used to be to me, and reminded me that's what you need. And I grabbed it and I have run with it ever since. And I'm never letting that go again. And actually, finally getting to see that in person, it was just, oh, it was so good. And it was rough because I was at the beginning of like a week of having to sing every day for a week. And um, I couldn't really just blast it out and sing along with everything and scream like I wanted to. So I had to sort of tamp it down a little bit, tamp down the energy, at least the verbal energy, and keep myself under control. And I did. And but yeah, it was so good. It was fun. Great venue and such a good show. He's amazing. He's 65 years old and he's up there dancing around like a maniac. Speaking of goals, life goals, people that I want to be like, wow.
Thank you, Mel, for such a great interview. And you're welcome back here. And I'll see you Saturday for Pig Out.
Looking forward to it.
All right, everybody.
Really, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you guys so much for watching the KGC show. And I can't wait to pull out my next guest from wherever. Thank you for enjoying another episode of the KGC show. See you next week, everybody.